What's up, Drew?
Okay. So I get too much email.
It happens to the best of us. Yeah.
Somehow I had deleted the latest Riverside invite.
Oh, okay.
So I had to like search through my trash, restore the email, do the thing where I copy the link because like it thinks it's like a physical location in Google Maps. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. So flabbergasted here. It's been a day. So just bear with me here. I'm still getting everything set up.
Okay.
Am I recording on the right?
You sound good.
Okay.
I can look at your using what is
Yes.
that? Fuck is it? Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Yeah. Because one of the things we're going to talk about later has been impacting my audio setup.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So things have been like oh god, it's been a fucking mess. Hi. How are you?
Good. I'm a bachelor most of this weekend. So
ooh, where is everybody?
My wife took my daughter to Little Sibs weekend at Ohio University. So my daughter's with her brother. So they basically, it's a weekend. The college students get to invite their siblings to the campus to experience a little taste of college life. They're currently watching an OU hockey game. So my wife took us one on the chin, and she's spending most of the weekend just in a hotel room, being transportation.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, where did the Little Sibs stay? They don't stay in the dorm.
They can if they want.
Okay.
But my wife got a hotel pretty close to the university, and yeah.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go watch OU hockey? You like hockey?
I wasn't invited, Drew.
Aha. Okay.
Which is fine. Honestly, it's fine because like they left pretty much like right after school, and I still had work to deal with and stuff. So they would have to wait on me, and it's fine. The life of a middle manager is not all it's shaped up to be sometimes.
Listen, buddy, I would love to tell you details about my week, but it's not for podcast distribution. It has been a week here for me.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna kick things off here. I have some updates that I want to bring back to the podcast.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is I've been having a lot of fun with Meshtastic.
I haven't put mine. I had to order a USB cable long enough to put it where I wanted and connect it to my Mac Mini. I have that, so I will be doing that this weekend. Instead of last weekend like I wanted, but yeah.
So what I've been doing is I've been driving around with mine.
Okay.
And I have been discovering a ton of nodes.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing where unless you were to like build a outdoor repeater that goes out of doors, obviously, or on your roof to listen all the time, using these things indoors isn't great. So like you need to get like out and about with it. And I'll tell you, just from like driving to like Polaris or my gym or Micro Center, my map is chock full of nodes.
Okay.
I got so many nodes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So what's interesting about that is that means that those nodes also know about me. So when they're relaying messages, I'm like on the list. I get forwarded messages.
Okay.
My shit's relaying, my shit's listening. So I'm laying on the couch the other night. So you've been to my home. My couch is kind of like in my living room, my big open floor plan. And one of my Meshtastic receivers was sitting on the kitchen counter, not near a window, just kind of sitting on the kitchen counter. And all of a sudden, it started going off. I'm like, I have mail. I have literal mail. So I opened up my Meshtastic app, and it was somebody who was saying that they were communicating with nodes from an airplane.
Wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah. It's like,
Wild.
hello from like 30,000 feet or something. And
Oh,
he sent
that's
it to like,
neat.
well, I shouldn't say he, they sent
They.
it to the general channel. So
Mhm.
it went to like everybody. A
Yeah.
lot of people mute the general, but I kind of leave it open just because, I'm lonely. So that was really interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm discovering a ton of nodes. My mesh map hasn't extended past Grove City to Commercial Point yet,
Okay.
so our nodes
Found each
haven't
other yet?
touched. Yeah, we
Okay.
haven't touched,
Okay.
but I bet you we will. I bet you we
Yeah.
will at some point if you start driving around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I
Cool.
also want to come back and talk about my home heating drama.
I would love to. I would love an update on this, Drew.
So now that it's warmed up a
A
bit,
bit.
it's
Mhm.
still pretty cold. My furnace is running less, but still running a lot.
Okay.
I have placed a few calls to some insulation companies, and by and large, they all sort of say the same thing, like, "So your crawl space, add more insulation to your attic, whatever." But I was able to get a hold of one company, and I'm not going to give the name of the company yet because we're still working through some stuff. And if I decide to go this route, I will share it, good or
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
But this gentleman came from this particular company, and he is an actual energy auditor.
Oh.
Now,
Okay.
back in the day, Columbia Gas and AEP used to offer
Yeah.
free energy audits. They would come to your house with a thermal camera and like climb around your crawl spaces, climb in your attic, look around, make recommendations, give you tips, stuff like that. But this
Mhm.
guy does that.
Okay.
So he came to my home and
Mhm.
he had a much more expensive thermal camera than I
I
bought.
bet. Yeah. It's for his work.
And he spent about 2 hours in my home this week.
Wow.
He was very thorough.
Okay.
So here's the situation. There's a lot that's wrong with my house. I'm not surprised. Now, I have to say this up front because I don't want people to think that I'm naive. But this guy's from a company who does a service.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to find things.
Yeah. Right.
But just
Okay.
hear me
Okay.
out.
Okay.
So the first place he took a look was in my basement, and he's looking around my crawl spaces and things, and he goes, "Okay, so here's the deal. We can absolutely wow, what is this? Uh oh, okay. Sorry. No, I got a very alarming like pop up on my phone about an
Oh.
email, but I think it's
Okay.
spam. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. I'm very gullible. Anyway, so he crawls around my crawl space, goes, "Here's the deal. He goes, the crawl spaces are pretty standard stuff. We're gonna rip out the fiberglass insulation, we're gonna spray foam it. Your crawl space is already encapsulated because you have a radon mitigation system. So like we don't have to do that. But we're going to rip out all that. We're going to spray foam it. And, that's going to help. It's going to air seal it. But he said that's not going to totally fix your problem. So, like the crawl space under our bedroom, he's like, what you really need to do is after we do that, you need an HVAC guy to come in and put a register in there. And I thought, okay, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, the problem is right now that space is cold because it's leaking air. And all that cold air is under your floor in your bedroom. So that's not helping." He said, once we, if you were to move forward with us, once we air sealed this, for all intent and purposes, could be a conditioned space. So his thought was put a register in there with a damper. So
Okay.
in the winter time, I can open the damper for heat to come in. And in the summer, I can close it so air conditioning isn't going in there.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And like that's a recommendation where like, he's going to do something, but he's like, that's not enough. Like you gotta do this other thing. So I'm like, okay, all right, buddy, you got a little credibility now.
Mhm.
So he's looking at my other crawl spaces. He's making recommendations. And then we go up to the first floor and he is immediately looking around. Like we go to the bedroom and he goes, "This bedroom sucks." And I'm like, "Thanks. I know." So basically the problem is it's a big vaulted ceiling, right? And he's
Mhm.
shining his thermal camera, pointing
Well,
the thermal
either way,
camera.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pointing the thermal camera at my windows, and of course, my windows are very leaky. And I said, "Well, that might be because I didn't caulk these windows. I caulked around my
Cock.
front door, but I didn't caulk around these windows." And he goes, "That would help, but that's not the problem."
Ooh,
And his thermal camera had enough resolution that he could see, like, once he got close, like kind of close to the window, he could see the individual gaps. Cause, like, if you've ever seen a house under construction, they create a frame and then they put shims in the frame to put the window in.
Right,
And
right,
then they
right.
sort of like seal it up with trim and everything after that. He goes, what this looks like to me, and he wasn't going to like rip trim off my window. He goes,
Mhm.
what they probably did is they probably just shoved some fiberglass insulation in there and it's not air sealed. And I'm
So
like,
you're getting cold air from the outside into your house through your window.
so
Yeah.
I was like, caulking that will help, right? And he goes, a little, but you're still going to have that cold air sitting there and it's just going to radiate through your trim.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
goes, what you need to do is take the trim off, spray in foam sealant, and redo it. Because he goes, when these windows were put in, he's like, I would bet you $100 per window that they didn't do that. And I'm like, do you do that? And they're like, no, we don't do that.
Okay.
But he goes, you're going to want to look into that. I said, okay, good to know. Then he went up to my attic. He looked at it, and this is where I'm not sure that I'm gonna like totally buy everything that he's telling me, because I've had roofers and I've had my pest control company when they do my pest inspections. I've had other people look at it and say, "Yeah, your insulation looks fine." But he took some pictures and said, "Well, it's a little flat over here. We could blow in some more in this." And I'm like, I really don't have a problem upstairs. It's more of a problem downstairs. So like maybe I'm not so high on that.
Okay.
But then the last thing he told me about, and this is where shit gets wild. Have you ever heard of aerosealing?
No.
Okay, buddy. What if I told you there was a magical way that you could improve all of the airflow in the ducts in your house?
Okay.
And basically, what they do is they go into your ducts from the inside,
Okay.
spray what is essentially Elmer's glue to seal up all the gaps in your ductwork.
Huh.
Now, he told
Wow.
me this, and I'm like, first of all, setting aside the fact that I don't want my house to smell like glue, you're going to have to help me with this one. And he goes, okay. He goes, let me ask you a question. How warm do you think it is on the first floor of your house right now? And I looked at my thermostat. I said 65 degrees. And he said, okay, let's go downstairs. So we went back down to my unfinished basement. He goes, how warm is it in here? And I said, I don't know. It feels like 60, 62. It was 70 degrees in my basement. And he goes, turn on your furnace from your app. So I did. And he goes, and like the furnace starts up and the blower starts going, and I can like hear the ducts rattling because it's blowing air.
Yeah.
He goes, come over
Yeah.
here and put your hand next to the vent. Sure enough, there are little gaps,
Mhm.
in the ductwork that leak air. He said, typically what we do is if you do this, we basically seal all this from the inside because one, this ductwork is old, it sucks. Two, the people that lived here before us had duct cleaning done. So there's little plugs. Well, those aren't necessary. I mean, they're tight, but they're not super airtight. He goes, what this does is this seals up all the like the joints in your ductwork
Huh.
and it improves airflow through your house. So like your house will get to temperature faster because you're going to improve the airflow throughout.
Okay.
And I'm like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. But Paul, I've been doing research,
Okay. Okay.
and apparently this is
This is real.
legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the quote from this guy, and the arrow sealing was not the most expensive part. Like all of
Okay.
the insulation work is because like they have to get a dumpster and like they have to
Yeah.
do all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And so that's kind of the update. If there are listeners, like all seven of you that like are
Mhm.
listening to this drama and you think that I'm totally crazy for buying into this, please put me on blast. I want to
Okay.
hear it. I want to hear
Okay.
if I'm crazy or not about this.
Okay.
So yeah,
Hmm.
that's the
That's
current update.
interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna have either him. There's one other company I'm waiting on a quote from. Either that company or someone else at least get the crawl spaces and the rim joists around rim joists around my basement like foam seal just to get a better air seal. So that's
Cool.
probably going to happen regardless, but I'm not there on the aero sealing yet.
Okay. I get
But
that. Yeah.
yeah, but like I said, I've done a fair amount of research on it. So
Okay. Okay.
all right, buddy, what can I do
Okay.
for you?
Okay. So obviously last episode I talked about vibe coding and quad code and
Mhm.
stuff, and I've been doing more of it. And I've been working on this little app to track my filament usage and my prints and like how much filament I have left, stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, the app is like really good, Drew. It's really good. It's
does it
really
make does,
good.
Does it make you feel bad?
No, okay, so no, not at all, not at all.
Okay,
Because
okay,
like I'm still being a software, like I'm still being an engineer. Like I'm looking at the code that it does. I'm giving it like a factor. A lot 20% of the code is mine, I would say. But I understand what everything does. But it's getting really good, Drew. It's getting really good. Now, there is some things I want to do, like it's cross-platform. It runs on the phone, the iPad, and Mac OS. There are some things I want to tweak, especially on the Mac side, to get it to look better. I have some issues with like dynamic type, which is that ability to make fonts bigger. Some of my layouts start breaking when the font gets too bad, but I know how to deal with that. So I need to put some time in there. But I'm really, really thinking about putting this on the App Store. I really am. It's good.
okay,
It's good. It's good. It's a good freaking app. Okay.
okay,
And obviously I don't think I would charge a lot for it, but I do want to charge money for it because like if I'm going to spend time supporting this, like I do want to have a little bit of income. But I know that
okay,
like I don't I when I do this, I probably should just take like go all out and get an LLC for
okay.
myself.
All right.
So this money goes to like a company. And I know that you recently did this with your side hustle, your consulting. And I just wanted to like before I started looking around the internet, I just wanted to get some advice for Drew. It's like, what would you recommend that I do to get this set up like in a way that doesn't suck?
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's not that hard to do.
Okay.
And there's a couple different paths to getting it done. Like if you want like a total hands off, no muss, no fuss
Hmm.
type thing, I would tell you use a legal service like LegalZoom. They
Okay.
basically have templates that's like a mail merge for your information that will basically take care of creating your operating agreement. Like every
Mhm.
LLC has to have like an operating agreement that has to be on file with the state that you're going to create an LLC in. It's not that deep. There are like free templates out there that you can do this yourself that
Eh,
are just like generic enough that it's like generic LLC, generic Paul
yeah.
Corp, right? It's totally fine. It's mostly just about like having the document on file, stating what the what the business purpose is, and just having that document. Like that is
Okay.
something you have to file with the state of Ohio. By the way, the state of Ohio has a great website where, and I don't have it off the top of my head. I meant to look at before we got on here, but I was like super distracted with work. They actually have a website. I think it's like Ohio Small Business or God damn it. Hold on. Now I
Okay.
have to now I
Okay.
does this
Not
have
okay.
small business LLC register. Um, how to start an LLC in Ohio. Starting a business. So it's Ohio Secretary of State. Um, yeah. Register. You have to go to the Ohio Business Filing Portal, submit a business filing. It walks you through it. That's where you upload like your operating agreement, who's a part of the LLC. It's just going to be you. Like
Yeah.
the worst thing you could do is try to add multiple people to an LLC,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everybody having a different tax ID, having employees, like
Yeah. No.
if it's
Yeah.
just a single person sole
Mhm.
proprietorship, it's
Yeah.
super straightforward.
Okay. Okay.
Now, after you do that, what I would tell you is the number one thing you need to do is that after you file with the state of Ohio, you need to now go get an employer identification number from the IRS.
Okay.
It's free.
Okay.
Okay. But here's the catch, and here's the part that tripped me up the first time. When you do it, you need to make sure that when you file the EIN request, it has to match letter for letter, space for space, punctuation for punctuation, what you're filing with your operating agreement. So like
Okay.
if your company name has the word LLC in it,
Put that in the
it
yeah.
has to be in your thing. And then once you file that, you will get a EIN number, and it's pretty automated. Like I think I got mine back pretty quick, and like that EIN number is basically if somebody requests like, how do I pay you? What's your
Yeah.
EIN or your TID or whatever? Like this is how you abstract away Paul Baylor
Yeah. Okay.
and you have an entity that's recognized by the federal government as like needing to pay taxes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there's this whole concept, and I'm not going to bore everybody on the podcast about this, but if you follow all these rules, there's this concept of what they call piercing the veil legally. So let's say that your app somehow causes somebody some harm.
Right.
Okay. As a sole member LLC, there's a level of protection there that if somebody were to come after you legally, all they could really get is any money that's tied to your LLC. So if you're making money, right, and we'll get to that part in a minute, you're sort of protected from damages. Not a lawyer, not a lawyer, not a lawyer,
Right.
but there's a limited liability, like
That's
that's what
the
the LL
LLC.
means,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
the LL means
Yeah.
for protecting you, so that someone could come after you for $1,000,000. Oh well, I made $280 off my app, so good
Yeah.
luck,
Good
right?
luck. Exactly. Yeah.
But if you're not careful and you don't do this right, they can pierce
Oh,
that
and come
that
after my app.
level
Okay.
and come after you. Now, as somebody who's going to use this to get paid on an app, I think the risks are pretty low. Now, as somebody
Right.
who does business consulting, I am very careful about how I structure my consulting agreements because, like, I'm never going to give a company code. I don't want that. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to go hands on keyboard, right? Like,
Right. Right.
yeah, yeah. Leave no footprints, right? I'm just
Right.
I'm just giving advice. You
Mm-hmm.
choose to follow it. You're on your own. Okay.
Right. Right.
So, like, that's the whole idea. So, after you get your EIN, the next thing you want to do is get a business checking account.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I use US Bank because they don't charge you anything for their basic business checking.
Okay.
So, I would have loved to have used Chase because I'm in the Chase ecosystem, but
Yeah.
just there's like fees and
Got it.
minimum deposit, like minimum balances and shit. US Banks was pretty straightforward.
Okay.
After you get a bank account and you have an EIN, that means you'll be able to have a debit card. So if you ever need to take money out of that or pay for something on that account, that's how you do it.
Okay.
You can also apply for a business credit card once you get that far.
Fancy.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, now that LLC part does not protect you from collections agencies. Like you can't run up a bunch
Yeah,
of credit
right,
and
yeah,
hope to not pay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do that anyway. I'm not, yeah, but yeah.
But like
Okay.
now here's where this gets fun. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say you do all of that. And I
Mhm.
know I'm painting this in very broad strokes, but just if
Broad
you
strokes
do
is
all
what I
that,
need. Yeah.
yeah. But once you do all that, like once you establish that base, now you can start paying for things like Claude Code
With my business. Yeah. And
with your
a
business.
that's a business expense.
And it's a business expense
Yeah.
because at the end of the tax year, and not a lawyer, not a CPA, not a lawyer, not a CPA, at the end of the tax year, what you need to provide is a P&L sheet. How much money did I make? How
Mhm.
much money did I spend? And if let's say you make $1,000,
Mhm.
but you're paying $200 a year for Claude, your tax liability, give or take, is like $800. Now, it's not a one for one. There's limits, but the thing is, like, the money you make from your app, Apple's not going to take out a tax.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
on the hook for that. So
Yeah.
you need a way to know, like, how much money did my app make, aka how much money did my LLC make, and then when you're filing your taxes, and I tried to do this with TurboTax. I didn't feel comfortable. I went and paid. Like, I have a CPA that does my
Yeah.
taxes now. He figures it out. Like, I basically go to my accounting software and I basically print out every sales invoice that I have, when they paid, and anytime I buy something. And again, this is where like accounting software can help you. If you tie that to your bank account, you basically reconcile your deposits with your withdrawals. So if I pay a credit card or I go to Micro Center and I have to buy a new monitor and I use my debit card, it tracks all that. So I print out a nice sheet and say, here's what I made, here's what I spent, figure it out.
Okay.
And then that reduces your tax liability for the money you make. Now, the other
Hmm.
nice thing you can do too is you can totally take personal draws. So let's say you make $10,000 from your app and you're like,
Right.
I want a new gaming thing.
Right.
You
I
could
can pay
totally
myself.
yeah, you could pay yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like you can withdraw that money, you could transfer it via, wire transfer from your business account to your personal account, and it can go the other way too. It's a little harder to explain to your accountant like why you put personal money into the LLC, but all you have to say is like, hey, I needed an influx of cash because, sales were low or whatever. So like that's the kind of stuff where it gets super beneficial. So I would say, search for the Ohio Secretary of State,
Okay.
starting a business. Then you will go to the Ohio business filings. Go online. If you want a copy of my business agreement as a reference, like
Okay.
that's fine. I can give that to you. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
And then once you're on file and you have like your registration number, then you go get your EIN. Once you get that far, you could stop
Okay.
technically,
Mhm.
but I would use that to then turn around and go get like a business checking account at
Yeah,
least.
I think that's exactly what I'd wanna do. It's just
Yeah.
that way,
And
yeah.
then that's the account. And I don't know how it works like from an app dev perspective, like tell Apple to send my money there.
Yeah, yeah. From what I've looked for, like, turning a personal account into, like, a business account is damn near impossible. So it'd probably just be like registering a new Apple ID, paying for the $99 per like, maybe I, like, infuse this LLC with a little bit of cash to get it going, purchase that from there, and then yeah, and then I'm off to the races. But
Oh,
yeah.
one more thing.
Mhm.
This is new. Once you have your LLC on file with the state of Ohio, you need to you must submit a FinCEN report.
Okay.
Now, this was one of those things where you had to do it, and then the government said no, and then the government said, okay, go do it. And then people sued, and then you didn't have to do it. I don't know what the current status is, but basically, like it's pretty easy to do some really shady shit with an LLC, especially if you're a foreign government or
Okay,
you're a
yeah.
foreign,
Okay.
drug cartel person. So if you go to fincen.gov, you have to like basically say like, here are the beneficiaries of my LLC because it's very easy to like hide large money transfers between people
Got
who
it.
are beneficiaries.
Mhm.
Again,
Okay.
not a lawyer, not a lawyer, not a lawyer. But listen, people bemoan the fact that you have to do it because like, America and, leave me alone.
Right.
I don't want to fuck with it. You only
Yeah.
have to do it once. I think it lasts forever or it has like a really long expiration date. Make sure you do that too. I almost
Okay.
forgot about that.
Okay.
Looking through my documentation here. Oh, you will get a state of Ohio certificate
Ooh.
for your articles of organization.
Okay.
Um, you'll get
Put it in
that
the
from the state
safe.
of Ohio.
Yeah.
Put it in the safe. Put it in a
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Okay.
Looking through here, articles of organization. Oh, the articles of organization you'll actually fill out on the website. That's pretty
Okay.
easy. And their business purpose. Like I have like literally one sentence. I'll send you a copy of that so you can see what I
Okay.
did.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I think that's great. I think you should do it.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. So
Cool.
like, how close is it to like being production ready?
Dude, honestly, with the rate I'm going, I've been like picking at it like after work or on the weekends. Dude, I've honestly like I'm close. Like I know exactly what like the things I want to do before I ship. And again, it's not really at this point, it's not functionality, it's just little design things that I wanted to like, especially like making an app that's like looks good on a Mac and an iPhone is a little bit of a challenge, but like I figured some of that out and I guess because that's some layout issues. So honestly, probably like I could have this thing ready in a week.
All right,
Like,
let me ask you a couple questions here.
okay.
So, how good is Claude at doing the UI stuff with Swift? I'm assuming it's Swift.
Yeah, it's Swift. Okay, so
Okay.
this is fun. Okay. So the other day, I don't know if you caught this. Apple released the release candidate for their next version of Xcode 26.3. Xcode
I
is
didn't
their
see it.
development tools. Okay.
I didn't see it.
What they have done is they have partnered with both Anthropic and Claude
Okay.
and Anthropic and OpenAI. And now you can use the Claude agent, which is the brains behind Claude Code. You can use OpenAI Codex directly from Xcode. Now, granted, there are some features like you don't get skills, you don't get things like that, but under the covers, it fundamentally uses the same engine, and they've provided a extremely robust MCP server inside of Xcode that understands all of the tooling for Xcode and has a
Okay.
lot more information about Swift. And that's what I have been using this past week. And like, so if you use like their user interface framework, Swift, you actually can do this anything now, but like Swift UI is the primary framework. And one of the features it has is called preview. So it's basically getting a preview of user interface without having to compile and run it. Well, now Xcode, when you're doing AI stuff, can like basically like look at the preview and make sure it actually did what you asked it to do. So actually like inspect the UI, it understands builds, it understands build targets. I literally today I was like, I gave it the vaguest prompt ever. I'm like, hey, because Apple has a bunch of like unit testing frameworks and UI automation frameworks, and I'm like, hey, can you build UI tests for the major features of my app? And it's like, I sure can. And it took about 15 minutes, and I was just watching the token usage just go up and up and up and up and up. But like, there's a couple tests that don't pass, and I understand why. But like, it did an entire set of UI automation tests for my application in like 15 minutes. It's ah, if you're a developer and you're not doing this shit today, you are an idiot. Like, it's one thing for someone with no experience to make an app and then have to deal with problems, but like if you're looking at the code it generates, if you're like one of the things I've learned is like, hey, like when it does something you don't like, because like Claude uses like that claude.md file, I
Yeah.
will give it an instruction and I'll be like, oh, and hey, update the claude.md file so you remember to do this in the future. And it works. It's the productivity gains you can get. And again, like a lot of this design stuff I will probably do myself by hand because I care, right? I want things to look out correctly. It did a great job with the initial UI and some of the initial design stuff, but like for this part, it's probably going to be very hands-on. I probably would use Assistant a little bit for some things, but because I want things to be just right and handle like dynamic text and all that wonderful stuff. But like how quickly it got me an app that I would be proud to have written myself. And like I look at the code it's generating, I understand it. When it does something I did not expect, I ask why it did that. It has deep integrations with the documentation and like the human interface guidelines, so it does things the quote unquote Apple way. It is it's it's good. It's good. And to have that all just in a tab, like a little sidebar right next code that has the oomph of Claude code behind it is it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just
Okay. I, first of all, I love that for you, and I'm
yeah,
glad. I'm glad.
yeah,
I'm glad it's working out. Now,
yeah.
here's the question I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, your coffee app,
Mm-hmm.
ha-
I'm gonna get
what?
back to it. Yeah.
Okay, but when you get back to it, are you
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to like have Claude work with what you wrote, or are
Yes.
you gonna just basically have it start over?
No, I'm gonna have what I wrote, and that's one of the things you can do. I'll probably go to Claude Code for this. You can basically have it like if you have an existing code base, right? It's so much of like the memory of it is in this Claude markdown file, right? Your the patterns you use, the best practices, things you don't want to do, things you do want to do. You can have Claude Code take its first crack at it, and it will look at all of your code bases, figure out your patterns, document it, and if it gets it 95% right, 90% right, that's great. I can go in and tweak it from there. So that's one of the things I want to do as well, is just kind of point Claude at it, like get and then I can start asking it to add features and do it in the way that I did it. Cause like with my filament app, I don't have like it's a lot simpler. I'm using a lot of like the rapid development tools, right? There's not a lot of layers of extraction. There's no unit tests or anything like that. With my coffee app, I have all of that. Like it's engineered it's over engineered is what it is, but it's fun. But there's some patterns that I use, like, uh, and it should be able to handle that just fine. And like,
Okay.
and I know that because like in my filament tracking application, it specifically says like, hey, we're not using patterns such as like MVVM, which is model view model. It's a way for like essentially if for the plebs out there. So like a view is eventually it's the clicky parts that you click on, right? MVVM is basically a pattern where all of the logic for that is in another class.
Mhm.
So like the view just is really dumb and it's just responding to changes or things on that view model.
And
And then
passing it to the model. Yeah.
yeah, and it makes it a lot more unit testable. And like in the Claudette MD that for my filament app, one of the things it realized like, hey, yeah, we're not doing that. And it put it right in there. It's like, yeah, we're just yeah, skip that. Just put it directly, using these things. So I'm pretty confident that it should do a pretty good job with that. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's man, like it I'm honestly surprised how good things have gotten so quickly, so recently. Like I I
It's a
can't imagine. Yeah,
it's a fast moving space.
yeah, like it really feels like remember like when you like figured out Google and you got really good at Google
Yeah.
and you were able to like pull information that people just didn't know. Like it feels like that. Like I don't ever foresee ever writing any kind of code again without one of these like agentic coding assistants by my side. It's you know, yeah, it's amazing. And it's funny, like I've noticed like the way I talk to it like a manager, Drew.
Well,
Like
why wouldn't you?
yeah, like I don't tell it how to do things. I just tell it what I want. And then I never it's always maybe this is bad, but like I almost always like ask it questions like I don't like, hey, I have this idea. Can you do this? Question mark.
No,
And it's like, yeah,
you
it's
have to
like,
be intentional. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, I absolutely can. Let me take care of that for you. Uh,
Huh.
yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Brave new world. Brave new world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for
Uh,
you, man. I can't
yeah.
wait to see the filament app.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to get
Well,
back into 3D printing, and I could be your first customer.
yeah. I mean, at some point, I'll probably get a test flight out there, and I can send you the test flight link. And yeah,
Okay.
I gotta figure out how to monetize it. That's the other thing I have to do. That'll probably take another week. I have some ideas, but
Subscriptions all the way down, man. Like,
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I want to charge. If I did, it's not gonna be a lot. Like, and I think I already know how to like like basically like you can't have more than X number of like tr- prints or filaments. Just hard cap it there, and if you purchase it, you get unlimited or whatever. But yeah, yeah, good,
okay.
good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Drew.
Ah,
I want to hear. Let's change gears. We've been
all right.
talking for what? How long? 30,
Almost
38
40
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
I want to hear about the thing you bought.
All right. Okay. So before I get into this,
Mhm.
do you think I kept it or not?
I think you did.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's dive in. So last podcast, I
Mhm.
talked about the fact that I was interested in trying a new VR headset.
Mhm.
And sort of the linchpin of that was I found out that they sell this headset at Micro Center.
The
So the name of the
Pimax?
headset, the
Yeah.
Pimax Crystal
Crystal.
Max.
Okay.
Crystal Super. Sorry, Crystal Super. Now, in fairness, I had heard about this headset before. This is the kind of thing where you order it directly from the manufacturer and they make it and they send it to you. I had heard horror stories of people who have gotten them and it didn't work, and it's like a really arduous return process. So I never really bit. But when I found out Micro Center had them,
Yeah.
which is dangerously close to my home,
Yeah. You could,
I
if
was like,
something's wrong, you just take it back and it's their problem. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And not only that, like we talked about last week, like there's different models of this that I'll get to in a second. That it's like, hey, if this model doesn't work, I'll just take it back, and if they
Get
have the
another
other one
one.
in stock, I'll just trade it out. So when we got done recording last week, before I went to bed, I watched a few more videos about it and people's impressions and like what they liked, what they didn't like. And of course, like every VR headset, there's some trade-offs with how this thing works, but everybody sort of universally agrees that if you're looking for the highest fidelity, best image quality, full featured headset, this is kind of the one to get. So I woke up Saturday after we recorded, and I had a couple errands to run. I had to go to my gym and help them do some networking and upgrade some stuff because there's been a change of ownership over there. And after I was done, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go to Micro Center.
Yeah.
So I went to Micro Center, and they were busy as hell. And it's interesting because we talked about this a couple episodes ago too. Like the cost of computer components is up, and
Yeah.
um, listen, I know some people don't like salespeople who work on commission, but I genuinely think that the salespeople who work at Micro Center are pretty fucking knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah.
And
The dude that helped me buy my 3D printer was great.
yeah, like if you literally walk in there and you're like, look, here's my budget, but here's what I want. They're not going to upsell you. They're going to help you stay within your budget. They're going to
Yeah.
get you what they want. They're going to give you opinions, and they're going to be good opinions. Like they literally know what they're talking about. I've never had a bad experience with a salesperson there. So the computer build area was kind of busy. They were helping people. And this nice young woman came up to me and said, "Have you been helped yet?" I said, "No." And I said, "Well, I'm here because I want a Pimax Crystal Super." And like, it was like a record skipped, right? Oh, you want one of those,
Hmm.
right? Like I'm about to buy a headset that the people next to me are trying to keep their computer built under $1,000. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So I felt like the big swinging dick in Micro Center, which is not necessarily the flex that you think it is, but like between the woman going and getting the headset versus me walking up to the register, several people said, "Oh, that's a nice headset. Oh, that's a nice headset." I'm like, and I'm just like, "That's what I hear.
I hope so. Yeah.
I hope so. For this price tag, it fucking better
Hmm.
be."
Right.
So I got it home and I got it unboxed. I really didn't get to fuss with it too much that Saturday, but I spent pretty much all day Sunday with it. So let me walk you through this.
Okay.
So the first thing is, my frame of reference for VR headset, this is now the fourth headset that I've owned. I had an Oculus dev kit, which I just kind of got because I'm mentally ill.
That was
I
when it had
wasn't
the
ever
cameras set up. No, that
yeah,
was,
it
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
it did
Yeah.
have external stuff.
Hmm.
And then I had the HTC Vive, and then I had like a regular Oculus. Actually, this is my fifth headset. I have a regular Oculus after that. And then I had the Meta Quest 2, and now I have the Pimax. So I've grown with VR. My use of VR is primary seated experiences. The days of me like swinging controllers around
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shooting guns or swinging swords, like I'm not
Hmm.
I'm not there for that. Like I
Yeah.
want simulation experiences. I love playing games like Elite Dangerous, DCS, Flight Simulator. Like I think that playing those in VR is amazing.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing you have to understand is this headset is big. It's
Okay.
much bigger. It's a much bigger form factor than like the Meta Quest 2. Like the Meta Quest 2 is pretty compact. It's light. You know, I would say that part of the problem is because Meta wanted to keep it so small. One of my primary complaints about the Meta Quest 2 was like when you were wearing it, there were gaps that you couldn't
Yeah.
eliminate, like here or here. So like it let light in. Sometimes that works in your favor because like if you need to like hit your keyboard, you could kind of like do one of these and like see the keyboard.
Hmm.
Headsets now have the double tap where you could do the pass through vision,
Yeah.
so that helps. But it's an old habit to break, and all my headsets have been like that. The Pimax is big, and the foam that sits here completely covers your face.
Okay.
Now, it's big, but I wouldn't call it bulky. It's not that much heavier than the Meta Quest 2.
Okay.
I would say that for extended periods of time, it's more comfortable. Like I have done several 2 or 2.5, 3 hour sessions in it. I'm not a person who gets motion sickness in VR, so I haven't had that experience. But in terms of comfort or me sweating or anything like that, absolutely not. Like it's very well designed to cover your face. Um, Now, the other thing is, one of the most important things you can do with a VR headset is set your IPD. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, so the distance between your pupils,
The
right?
distance
Yeah.
between your pupils. Now,
Mhm.
I happen to be good friends with somebody who's married to an eye doctor.
Right.
So when I was getting my eyes checked, I asked her, like, can you give me an IPD? And she was so proud of me that I knew what
Mhm.
that was. So, like, I have like my
The
actual
actual number.
IPD.
Yeah.
Now, with the Meta Quest 2 and other headsets, it's not exact. You have like three different settings and you need to set it to the closest one. This motherfucker is motorized. So when you go into the settings for the app and you put it in, like
Mhm.
it literally like starts adjusting
Moving.
them to the exact distance. Now this might be placebo, but I've noticed that, I never got eye strain or headaches, but for
It's
the other
better.
features I'm going to talk about, it's noticeably different.
I'm sure it's more comfortable to wear too for long periods of time because things are more
Yes.
in focus. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep. Now the headset itself has speakers. We're going to come back to that later. And the other nice thing about it too that keeps it snug, because again, when you're playing a game and you're like looking around, you don't want the headset to shift because then things
Mhm.
get out of focus. You got to stop, you got to readjust. This thing has like a head strap, and on the back there's like a dial. It's almost like a garden hose spigot. So like when you put it on and it's like in place, you kind of like ratchet it in there and it really keeps it snug. So like when I'm looking around, it's not shifting on my head. Now I'm not whipping my head around at massive rates, but it keeps it nice and snug. So the points there. So in terms of fit, finish, comfort, everything's good. It came with two controllers. I haven't even put batteries in them because I don't even use them. So that was all good. So let's talk about setup.
Okay.
So this obviously has software like everything else does. And I would say that we'll talk more about the software later, but setup was pretty easy. Now, the one thing I will say is that unlike other headsets like the Meta Quest 2, you have to plug in three cords to this.
Okay.
So the first one is USB.
Yeah. Makes
Now,
sense.
anything you change in the app that needs to push settings to the headset is pushed through the USB. It actually connects to a display for the actual display that it's powered in the headset. It actually connects to DisplayPort on your video card. So unlike the Meta Quest 2, which is just like connected and the software and
Yeah.
the VR like runtime pushes an image to it, this is actually coming straight off your graphics card.
Okay.
Now this headset has basically 4K per eye, so it's crazy high resolution. But what and then it also takes external power. It is not powered over USB.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Now, I will say that again, kudos to these guys. The cord that comes off of it is long as fuck. So, like, I can be sitting here, my computer's all the way over there. I have like no problem whatsoever with the cord reaching.
Okay.
So basically, the cord comes off the headset. The display port cable is built into that. The USB plug, there's like a USB plug that goes from like female to female USB, and then there is like a barrel adapter for the DC power adapter. So like it's not like three cords go into the headset. It's one cord, but
And
it's
then it
all three
breaks
of those
out.
things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So once you get the software installed, it gets detected by Windows. There was a little bit, one of the things that you really got to be careful of with this because it's so high resolution is the individual settings matter for performance. Um, so it being so high resolution, I don't have a god tier PC right now. Like I don't have a 5090, I don't have the latest processor, but I still have a 4090. Got a
Yeah.
decent amount of RAM, I got a pretty decent processor. When I first plugged it in and tried to use it, it was chugging. It
Chugging.
was chugging. Yeah. I mean, it's basically a 4K monitor per eye. And I game
Yeah.
in 4K without problems.
But
Trying to run
that's two
two
displays.
That's
Yeah.
trying to run two full 4K displays in each of your eye. Like that's tough.
Mhm.
And again, credit where credit's due. Like I knew this going in. I watched plenty of reviews. Like people even with 5090s can't drive both of these things at full resolution. So in terms of getting it set up, in terms of the comfort, in terms of just how it looks, it does have like an LED that lights up in the front. You can turn that off. It's got cameras for sensors for the tracking and everything. But now I want to talk about what it's actually like to use.
Okay. Okay.
It's incredible.
Is it?
It's incredible. So, in DCS, when you're playing it, there like every little switch has a label. And like when I was playing in the Quest 2, if I wanted to actually read what that said, I'd have to kind of lean in.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do that.
Text is clear.
Text is fucking clear. Okay. And this also has eye tracking.
Yeah.
Which is freaky as fuck. So, one of the things you have to do, and I didn't do this at first, but once I sort of tested it to make sure that it worked, I set up eye tracking. So, like, you put on the headset and you get it all adjusted. You have to set your IPD correctly. And then it's literally like, okay, follow the target. So it puts a little dot and you got to like watch it go up, watch it go down. And it's like recording your eye movement. And then the background changes from black to white. It does it again. And if the calibration was successful, it tells you. And if it's not, it tells you like, don't move your head, only move your eyes because it knows if you move your head.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So once I got that set up, you could turn on what is the killer feature of this. And this is something that I think the new Valve headset's going to do. And it's called dynamic foveated rendering.
Yeah. The PSVR 2 does that as well. And the Vision Pro. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what this means is the actual resolution coming into the headset is low.
Yeah.
Which greatly increases the frame rate. But because it knows where you're looking, that is rendered at full resolution.
Yes. Yes.
Now, it's trippy. It's trippy at first because like I was doing some tutorial missions and it's like there's like a text box up here where I'm looking straight ahead. And because of where my eye is and it's in the field of view, half of the text is readable and half of it's blurry.
Okay. Yeah.
So now there's sliders. You can set the quality of the foveated rendering to where like it's still perceptible, but not as much.
So you can make that like the area that that renders at full resolution a little bigger.
Well,
or is it just
like
the quality of it.
The quality of it. So instead of it being rendered at a much lower resolution, if your graphics card can handle it, you can bump that resolution up. So it's not quite full resolution, but it's clear. So when you're so when I'm like sitting here like looking straight ahead, I can glance down. I can actually watch the texture shift as I look down without having to move my head.
Okay,
it's pretty fucking cool.
Okay,
and then there was some slight pissing around like to get settings per game set up. But it's incredible. It's incredible. Now I will say that like the software experience, not the best, but I don't have to log into Meta. I don't have to put on my headset and tell it to use my PC link. I don't have to fuck around with all the Meta bullshit to get it to work. I still had to set up an account with Pimax, but like I haven't had to think about that ever since. Now you can use the headset wirelessly if you want to. So like, you could do the same thing you do with the Quest where like you go to like their store and install a game and play it or whatever, but I have no desire to do any of that. The one thing I don't like about it is the headphones. So, let me see if I can actually get this to show up. So obviously I kept it.
Obviously.
So these little nubs right here
are the
headphones. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they terrible? Yeah, they're pretty bad. What I like to do is I like to wear my headphones while I do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Like, there's no way to get this headphone strap
because they're too big. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, like when you put this on, like this is the side profile. Like my head's here, my ears are here, so these are just kind of like projecting sound at your ear, but they're still in the way.
Yeah.
You can't move them around, right? Now, interestingly enough, Pimax sells upgraded headphones for this. I don't want to buy them, but they give you instructions about how to remove this.
So you can take them off.
I could take them off, but if I do without putting something back on it, it's just like an exposed speaker. Now, I can turn the speaker off, but it's just like exposed electronics.
Yeah, okay.
So what I've been doing for now is I have been listening through these because like the sound quality being in a cockpit on an airplane, like
it's not what you're there for. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not playing Tarkov where I need like to hear full 3D sound around me. all I hear is engine rumble and things beeping at me that I'm about to die. So
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, it's pretty fucking incredible,
Mm,
if I'm being honest with you. It really, really is.
that's
It
awesome.
is quite special. So, was it worth the investment? Right now, I'd say yes. I've been
Okay, good.
spending a lot of time in it. Now, my time with VR is usually cyclical. Like, I'll be super into it for like a month, and then I'll kind of put it away, and then I'll come back to it. Um, this has obviously spending that amount of money has made me want to play more VR, which is a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So I've been fucking around with it. I've been like really spending time with my controls and practicing. I would
Now,
say the number one thing I don't like about it though
okay.
is I like to stream while I play a game. Here's the problem. When you mirror what's being sent through VR and you're using foveated rendering, it's sending the
Yeah.
shit image to the
Got it.
stream. So
Yes.
anybody
Yeah.
watching me on stream, it looks like blurry colors. So I need to find a way, and I have a couple ideas because like I was reading online, like there's no way to like take the image from the headset and stream it. What it basically does is like put a copy of what you're looking at on the screen, but it's subject to the foveated rendering. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what I need to do, like what everybody recommends, is you just like crop a little box out of that and blow that up so it looks a little bit better.
Okay.
People won't see your full field of vision, but they'll be able to see enough.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that part is kind of a bummer. I didn't have that
Okay.
problem with the Quest 2 because I could just
It-
render it at
yeah.
full resolution, but
Yeah.
I don't do that here. So that's kind of the only bummer.
Okay.
Now
Now,
if I record and play it back, it's in full resolution.
okay. Now, has this made you want to put more money into your PC?
No.
Good. Okay. Good. Good for you.
I don't think a 5090 fixes the problem.
Okay.
I think that to really use this thing with the games that I want to play, I I have to use those settings.
Okay.
I don't think that I'm in the market for new computer equipment, but not for my gaming PC.
Okay.
I really want to invest more in like my Linux machine and put like an actual like really powerful GPU in it for AI stuff.
Okay.
But that like
Yeah.
that is so fucking expensive.
Yeah. Especially now. Especially now.
Well, especially
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
right? Interestingly enough, like Micro Center has been selling like the workstation AI cards. Those haven't gone up in price.
Oh.
But they are selling out, and I don't think they're getting any more. So that's the
Yeah.
problem. They haven't gone up in price, but they're probably not going to get any more.
All those are going to data centers and not to micro center. Yeah.
Yeah, these aren't like the server ones. Like these aren't the H100s. They're the Blackwells, so they're more workstation focused, but they're still like
Yeah.
48 or 96 gigs of RAM, which
Yeah.
that's kind of like what you need. You need
Mhm.
RAM, you need VRAM. So, and they don't
Cool.
take, I mean, I could probably plug one into my existing machine without having to get a bigger power supply because like they don't draw as much as like a gaming one, but they still draw a lot. So anyway, yeah. So I
Cool.
ended up keeping it. Probably gonna keep playing it. If you are the kind of person that wants to watch me get blown up in games, like definitely follow me on Twitch. But
Pitferg on Twitch, right?
Pitferg on Twitch, PITTFURG. All right,
Cool.
so I have to go to a work call.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. We'll keep this short. Doingthebest.com. You can find all the links, all the show notes. We're on YouTube. Watch our videos there. And hey, thanks for listening.